Okay, so today is Friday. So Friday for most people means like it's time to take a break, but usually Fridays for me, even though my friend has suggested that I don't use Fridays to do this. Fridays is when I create most of the Instagram post content. Um, and it's become even more critical because if I want the whole leak code grind to keep on going, I have to make sure I finish most of the stuff on Friday. Maybe some can leak onto like another day during the week, but for the most part, the plan is always finish the content on Friday. So that's what's gonna go down. Right, I'm just gonna take some coffee real quick, and then we're going for a walk. Walks Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, trying to keep it consistent because since we're working remote, we don't really move around much. So got to do it ourselves. Well, myself. So I'll see you after I'm done taking a walk. Okay, so we back on home base here. Um, Walk was cool. I tried to do 10,000 steps, failed miserably because it was too long. Like I just couldn't do 10,000 steps. I did like my normal route. Um, and it was back. We got three posts to do. I'm trying to aim by three a.m. we should be done. That's what I'm praying. I highly doubt it, but we got to do three posts. So let's hop it right into it. I still don't have the post ideas yet, so we're gonna try and figure those out. But let's get into it. So what would be cool if I take you through the content making process, right? So I have three pieces of content to make. I haven't really thought of the ideas. Um, I'm under pressure right now because I do have to study for like leak code stuff tomorrow. So we're gonna try and make this quick. I'm in my brain. I'm saying 6 to 9 hours. That's how long it's going to take. But let's go through the process of figuring out the idea to actually making it, and then obviously you'll see posting it on Instagram during the week. That will probably be in the next video. But let's do this shit. Okay, so this is my Instagram content creation process, right? I thought that doing a voiceover would make it more in depth, so here we go. So for step one, so currently on Instagram, I'm not doing like any video posts. It's all like text, and these text posts come in the form of carousels. If you don't know what a carousel is, it's like you have 10 slides of pages to tell your user a story in the form of a post, right? So the first thing I do in my content creation process is I find the topics that I'm going to talk about on these posts, and I post 3 times a week, so we find 3 topics. I wish I could do 5 to 7, but it's just not on my bandwidth right now. So if you see over here, we used MDN, which is like a popular website for like web development. They have a bunch of topics and definitions. So I just used that to like try and spark some ideas for this week. So this is what we initially found, the topics that we came up with. So what is garbage collection in JavaScript? How to use local storage in JavaScript? What it means to be immutable in JavaScript? And 2 of these topics actually got dropped because when I started making the content for them, if it's not flowing, it's not flowing, and that's when I just drop it. So the only one that survived here is what is garbage collection in JavaScript, and the title wasn't even what is garbage collection in JavaScript. So moving on to step 2, which is creating the very first page of the carousel. So that very first page is what people see on the timeline when they're seeing the post for the first time. I used to always think that this page was really important, but I'm not too sure, so I'm going to experiment this week. I was struggling to make the front page. So if you view my last 15 posts, you'll see that they all look relatively the same. Black background, has white text, maybe some of the white text is highlighted, and then there's a picture. So I usually get my pictures from Canva, but I just couldn't get the right picture, man. And the front page or the first page just didn't look right to me. So I decided to try something that I've never done before. So this time I did no picture. I made the background yellow, and then I made the text black, and then that was it, no picture. So this is step 2, which is making the first page. I don't know what's going to happen with no picture, but let's see. We'll experiment. If things are pretty much the same, then we are cool. Okay, so step 3. So in step 3, after I finish making the first page, it's obviously the content of the carousel. And for the most part, if I'm making the content and everything is flowing well, I end up keeping the topic and it will become a post that I finish. But if it's just not flowing and I'm not feeling it, then the topic gets dropped and we have to think of another one, right? So this is step 3 in a nutshell. Yeah, just making the content. So one thing that I will say is that on Instagram you have people that are really fancy, and what I mean by really fancy is people that are like experienced designers and they like making the carousels look so sexy. I'm not a designer, right? So my carousels aren't exactly as sexy as theirs, but I try and work on the content, make sure that the content is decent, you know. So this is step 3, the content. Okay, so I don't even think I mentioned it. So what I use to make the carousel is something called Adobe XD, right? So step number 4 only occurs when I want to bring GIFs into my carousel. So when I first download the GIF and then I drag it onto Adobe XD, it just turns into a still image. But we don't want it to just be a still image. We want the GIF to move, obviously. And for information, like all these fancy designers on Instagram, you will barely ever see them using GIFs, but I like my GIFs. So step 4 is basically post-processing, right? So to get the GIF to move, you have to convert that GIF into an MP4, and then after you are done processing the carousel and all of the pages turn into PNGs, what I do is I take the PNG of the page that has the GIF, I drag it into Final Cut Pro, then the GIF that I just converted into an MP4, I also take that into Final Cut Pro, I position it on the page to cover the still image GIF, and then you convert that Final Cut Pro project into an MP4 file. That way, when you finally bring all the items to Instagram, the GIF is moving, and that's the money. I love GIFs. It just makes things more fun. So step 4 is post-processing to get the GIFs to move, and that's it.